David Baldacci is one of my favorite authors. And he's a very prolific author. He has written many books using various characters and created them by series. And I've taken information from most of his books and put them into a JSON data file, JavaScript object notation file, as seen here. Each book contains the title, the year, the series it belongs to, a teaser about the book, whether I've read it or not, and then the ISBN. Our task is to write a Python file that will access that JSON file, deserialize it, and place the data into a list that we can then manipulate and do some analysis on. Our program will allow us to view all the titles by the year, show all titles by series, they'll be grouped together, show all the titles alphabetically, show details about any title. We can add new titles information and have them written into that JSON data file. Change whether a title's been read or unread, and we can also delete a file from the list. In Canvas, you can see more about this assignment, as well as some screenshots. Here's a list of all the data and how it would be displayed. More information about each title. And then our rubric for self-assessing. I suggest pausing the video here, see if you can do this project on your own, and if you have troubles, come back and I'll show you my code solution. Let me walk you through my solution to the Baldacci project. I start by importing JSON, gives us access of the tools to serialize and deserialize JSON data. And that takes care of a lot of the issues for us. It makes it very easy to use JSON data. I put some comments here just of the format that the data was in, kind of a sample book. Print out what the program's going to do. I have a list called book info, and then another variable called number of books. I'm going to open up the Baldacci Books.json file with UTF-8 encoding as a JSON import, and then I'm going to set book info equal to loading from the JSON class that JSON import reference. The number of books will be the length of the book info as far as the number of books that are in that file. I'm going to print info on Baldacci's. Placeholder novels have been imported. Let me come down to our main function. We're going to print out main menu. I have a Sentinel menu set up. Choice equal to question mark to begin with. So when it first goes through, it's going to print the menu. That is choice question mark. Then we'll ask the user input the letter for the menu choice they would like to execute. And I have a little funny thing here. Be careful out there and keep a watchful eye for Will Roby when they exit the program. Will Roby is a character who's an assassin in one of David Baldacci's series. Here is the display menu. So we've seen that already previously in the video, all the things we can do. Display all titles by year. We're going to print out David Baldacci titles by year published. Give us some headings of title, year, and read. The question marks and be a Boolean expression true or false. And we do some left justification to put those into columns. Again, I use equal signs as my underlining of those headings. And then we're going to go through book info, looking at books, and for each one of those we're going to put that into a variable called novel, and then we're going to print out the novel title, justified 25 characters, the novel's year, and then also whether the novel was read or not. So these are the headings that are in our JSON data. Same thing, displaying the titles by year. We're going to create a set, naming it series, and then for I in range 0 to the number of books, we're going to do series.add, and we're going to take books element I and get the series sum it and put it into the set. Now remember, a set only has one item, there's no duplications. So that will give us all the sets, and then I'm going to sort those sets as series, put it into another variable called sorted series, and then say there are placeholder series and get the length of that series. So we can tell how many series there are. And then we'll do David Baldacci titles by series. We'll do title, year in red. Again, print our underscores. And then for XYZ in sorted series, we're going to go through those series one at a time alphabetically. We're going to print XYZ.upper, so the series name in uppercase. And then for each novel, we're going to go through and see if that novel matches the series that we're currently looking at. And if it does, we'll print the title, the year, and whether it's read or not. And then we're going to separate each series with a blank line. Displaying the titles A through Z, again, we're just going to take our sorted titles and take our sorted book info by books, and we're going to use a key of lambda X, where X is the title, and we're going to go reverse is false, so it's going to go A to Z rather than Z to A. Again, we're going to print out the David Baldacci titles alphabetically, the title, the year, and what was read or not, underscores, and then we're going to go through our titles in a for loop and print out those titles again. Displaying the details, we're going to ask the user to enter a title. We recommend they copy and paste from the title so it's spelled exactly. We're going to do a perfect match. And then for novel in the book info, we're going to see if the novel title.upper matches the my title.upper. I like to do an upper in doing a comparison just so there's no little hidden gotchas there. We're going to print the details for, and we'll put the title. Have read equals yes if novel read.upper is true, else we're going to say no. And we're going to print what was published, the ISBN, it was read or not. We'll get that information from our JSON object. And then we'll print the teaser. That teaser is fairly long, so we'll do a new line character at the end of that. If we want to add a new title, we're going to have to we'll have the user enter the title, the year. Again, we're going to get all the series and show those series. And we'll ask them to indicate if it's a current series or not. And if it is, we'll have them enter the series. We'll have them enter the introduction or teaser to the novel, and then whether the novel's been read or not. ISBN, we're going to get a new data object of that information, the title, the year, the series, the teaser, what was read, and the ISBN. We're going to add that to our book info list and increase the number of books by 1. And then we're going to call the write JSON, so we're writing that data right back out to our JSON file immediately. Here's where we change the title to read. Here's where we can delete a title. We also use our enter title, do some checking, make sure that title exists, and then delete it. We're going to confirm that they want to delete that item. And here's where we write the JSON back out. We're going to open back that same data file, Baldacci_books2.json, for write purposes as a JSON export. And then we're going to use the JSON dump method where we're setting book info using JSON export. We're going to ensure the ASCII is true, set the indent to 4. That'll encode all the data into JSON, and then we will print that that has been done. And then, of course, we're going to call our main method to run the program. Let's watch this run. So I'm told that it read 42 novels in from the data file. Show the titles by year. That's item A. So there's the chronological list of those 42 titles. If I do B, we will now see the list in order of series alphabetically, and then each of the books then in that series is chronological. Item C shows all the books alphabetically. D allows us to enter a title. I'm going to put in the hit. And I see information for the hit, year it was published, the ISBN, whether I've read or not. Actually, I have now read that book. And some information about the book itself. And if I do a question mark, I can see the menu. As I said, I read that book, so I'm going to do F. I'm going to toggle the hit as a book that I've read. Do you want to set it as read? I'm going to say yes. And now we can see that the hit shows true of having been read. I'm going to add a new title. We're going to call it the Programmer 2022. Of course, it's a standalone novel. Professor H seemed like a normal community college professor. And say, yes, I've read this novel. Give it a new ISBN. And until the JSON file has been updated. Let's take a look at our list here. Here's the standalone novels, and you'll see the programmer is now part of that as 2022 having been read. Let's go ahead and delete that. So I'm going to say G, delete a title from the list, and this will be the programmer. Do I want to delete it? I'm going to say yes, and until it's been deleted. Again, let's just do a listing here, and you'll see it's not in the list as a 2022 book. So it's been deleted. So that's our project. I'm going to press X to exit, and I hope you enjoyed this exploration of JSON data. If you just jumped into this video and haven't seen the prior videos to this, I invite you to check out my Python playlist of videos. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.